Hey, baby. Listen. Those people that hurt you and abused you, mistreated you, they had no business doing what they did to you. Now, you can look back and you can think, like, as you place yourself in their shoes, you could see that these people were just broken. These people they were going through their own personal issues, and that they did not have the strength, the courage, nor the self-awareness to handle their emotions. So when emotions got the best of them, instead of dealing with it, they projected it outwardly onto you. And they put it on you specifically because they looked at you as an easy target. They looked at you as someone that they could use as their punching bag, someone that they can use as their doormat. But listen, you can understand where these people were coming from, but you do not have to excuse their behavior. You can understand their behavior, but you do not have to excuse their behavior. Because think about the times when think about what you were going through at that time. You were going through a lot yourself. It had been a lot that you had been dealing with. You were probably battling with depression, anxiety, PTSD, but you didn't do to them what they did to you. You didn't go out of your way to hurt somebody else because you were hurting. You just dealt with your hurt on your own. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. These people did not know what they were doing. These people did not know that they were actually setting themselves up for some very heavy karma. What they were doing in the present moment was anything that was going to make them feel good, a temporary relief of their suffering. But in the mix of them temporarily relieving their suffering, they threw their pain and suffering onto you and made you carry that energy. They transferred that energy onto you. Now you're carrying the burden and the weight and the pain and energies of somebody else that's not even yours. And then you were wondering why certain things were occurring. You were wondering why your energy was off. You were wondering why you were so flustered. You were wondering why you were more anxious than usual, because that was not your energy. They had no business doing that to you. They threw it on you on purpose, you specifically, because they felt they could get away with it. They saw you as someone with a big heart, a heart of gold, a pure soul, and they looked at you as someone that wasn't going to defend themselves. They looked at you as someone that wasn't going to stick up for themselves. They looked at you as somebody that they could really just run their mouth about, and you was going to just sit there and take it, because by you allowing them to dump on you, it made them feel better about themselves. It made their ego feel satisfied. They felt empowered by taking away the power of somebody else. And if you are thinking of those moments right now, I decree and declare that you call your power back from those moments, from those people. Call your power back and release that energy and return it back to sender. That is not your energy. You are not to carry it. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? That's not your energy. And I will not allow you to sit back and carry someone else's energy that is not yours. I love you too much for that. God is speaking through me right now, because God doesn't want you carrying that energy. God doesn't want you carrying all of this pain. God doesn't want you carrying something that's not even yours to carry, because you got enough to deal with, and you dealing with somebody else's. No. Recognize that wasn't your energy to carry and return it back to sender. Call your power back. And listen, you can understand, but you don't have to approve. You can empathize, but you don't have to excuse. You have to recognize how wrong these people were. Because what they did is they caused you so much trauma that it's taking you years to heal yourself from that. Just in those little moments of them throwing their energy on you, it's taken you years to heal from that. This is why those people that you walked away from, the people that left you desolate, the people that left you into despair, those people do not deserve access to this healed version of you. They do not deserve access to who you are now. Do you understand me? Do not allow your big heart and how much you love them to overpower what they did. What they did was wrong, and these people are not going to change. And now that you are healed, they have to see exactly what they're missing. They don't deserve this version of you. They don't deserve this good version of you, because when you were in your broken version, they just walked all over you. When you were in your broken version, they took advantage of you. When you were down, they kicked you while you were down. These people don't deserve you. My brother, my sister, they don't deserve you. Because if you would have checked out, they would have been okay. They would have went on about their life. If they would have been on the note that you left behind before you decided to unalive yourself, they wouldn't have cared. They actually would have felt good at the fact that they hurt somebody that much. They destroyed somebody that much. They felt that empowered. They would, because they had this wicked and evil spirit living within them where they wanted to steal, kill, and destroy. They may not have been strong enough to kill you directly, but if they could cause you to do it to yourself, they was okay with that. They wanted to destroy you. They wanted to see you destroyed. They wanted to see you broken and hurt and in pain. Because they would rather you carry their pain than them have to deal with it. But here is what happens. Here is what happens. Because of all of that pain that they threw on you, it doesn't matter how much they try to throw on you. That energy is going to come back to them. It's going to come back to them. They're still going to have to deal with that energy because it's always going to come back to them. So although in the moment they may have felt that they felt a temporary relief, but what they realized is after the fact, all of the emotions started to come back up. After the fact, all of the wounds and the pain and the trauma started to come back up, and they had to realize that they still got to deal with their issues, and they can't just throw it off on somebody else. They can't just act like this person is the cause of all of this pain. No. What's happened is these people took it way too far. And when God removed you from these people's lives, they were left to deal with all of their pain. And they did not have you around to go project that energy towards. It's like whenever these people got hurt or got upset, they would go seek and find you just so they could throw their energy on you because they had access to you. That's exactly why God revoked that access from these people. And this is why they will continue to have permanent no access. Access permanently denied. Access is denied permanently. They no longer have access to you because when they had access to you, they hurt you, they mistreated you, they abused you. They projected all of their insecurities and wounds onto you. And they had no remorse. They wouldn't let up. They didn't care how they made you feel. They thought that you were like robotic, that you could just take all of this, that you just didn't have emotion, that you just weren't feeling anything because by then, baby, you had already become so numb to pain by then that whatever anybody did, you were so numb to it, you barely felt it. That's why you weren't feeling as much pain until after the fact, when you removed yourself, when you started to look back and all the pain started to rush up to the surface, because you had no idea how horrible that was until you removed yourself, because you were so numb to pain around that time. And they didn't realize that. They didn't see that. They read you differently. They didn't read you correctly. They looked at you as this person that may have come across as very aloof or, just very reserved, very emotionless, like a poker face. They may have looked at you as if you were hard to read. They may have made these assumptions about you. Oh, why are they so quiet? Why don't they talk? What's going on? Are they judging people? No, whole time they're just observing. They want to just sit back. Maybe they just don't feel like talking. But when they do, they'll have something to say. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're uncomfortable. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they're so hungry that they feel like if they were to speak and say something, fire will come out of their mouth. And they're like, let me just hold on, bite my tongue until I get some food in my system. You have no idea. They had no idea what you were really going through, but they judged you wrongly, falsely accused you of things that you didn't even do. These people didn't even give you a chance. They didn't even try to understand you. They didn't even try to read you. They didn't even try to gain some type of understanding about you. They just judged you and just wrote you off. And you were so emotionally numb at the time that you weren't even fathoming. You weren't even fully aware at the time of how abusive these people were to you. So when you're looking back, you're like, how the hell could I have put up with that for so long? Because, baby, you were emotionally numb. Think about how much shit you had been through before all of that happened. Before you were with these people. Think about what you had already went through. Had you had a chance to really heal from that? You probably did not. Confirmation, you really didn't. So you were just out here running on autopilot. But you see, even through all of the pain that was left unhealed, even though you did not know your worth was all, oh, come on, Spirit. Even though you were not aware of your worth at the time, your worth was always aware of you. Oh, come on. Even though you were not fully aware of your worth at the time, your worth was always aware of you. Your light shined brightly in every room you entered, everywhere you went. Your light was strong and you stuck out like a sore thumb. People could pick you out and out of a crowded room and they would be able to see you directly. Their eyes would divert to you. And they had no idea why their eyes would always divert to you every time they saw you. What is it about this person that I'm so drawn towards? Like, what is it? It's your energy. It's your light. And you know what attracts to the light? Everything attracts to the light. Even darkness attracts to the light. You see, your light was shining so brightly that you couldn't even see beyond your own light. You couldn't see that you had flies and gnats and mosquitoes around you. You didn't realize that the people around you were not the butterflies, were not the moths, were not, you had those destructive ones. You had the bees, you had the bees that sting people. You had the wasp, you had the hornets. You had the mosquitoes. You just had all of these. You had the gnats. You had the flies. You had all of these people around you, but you couldn't really fully understand that these were toxic people that were around you. You couldn't see it. Because what was happening is some butterflies were drawn to you too. And you were people started to blend in. So people, like the bad ones were blending in with the good ones. It was hard for you to really discern who was good and who was bad at the time. But listen, in those moments when they hurt you, when they abused you, when they mistreated you, when they did so much to tear you down, to break you, when they conspired with other people to come against you, they had no idea that they were stirring their own pot. This whole time where they were stirring the pot, trying to stir up a potion for you, they had no idea that potion was going to pour on them. They had no idea that pot was going to pour all over them, spill all over them. You see, the same pit that those enemies dug for you is the same pit that they will fall in. It may have seemed at the moment that they were getting away with what they did. It may have seemed at the moment that they had people fooled, that they were that they just did so much to you, and it seems as if they were not getting their consequences, that they were not getting reprimanded, that you were the one that was seen crazy, you were the one that was personally victimized, but they looked at you as the villain. Listen, baby, you had to go through that moment for the truth to be revealed. Everything that's done in the dark is going to come to the light. They try to paint you as the bad person, but when God reveals who you truly are, and you've had this glow up and you've just had this growth within yourself, and people see you now they know that you were the one the whole time. You were the righteous one. You were the pure, innocent one the whole entire time. And now those people that doubted you, those people that believed your abuser or sided with your abuser, they are in a pool of salt. They are very salty. They are dripping in salt. They are salty as hell because they're like, wow, I was so wrong. And they're also salty because they're like, how could I sit up here and defend an abuser how could I sit up here and defend an abuser and stick up for them when this person is wicked? This person has evil ways. Hey, Ralph, how are you? Good. How could they do that? But listen, all of that was for a purpose. All of that was for a reason. It was to grow you. It was to evolve you. It was for you to recognize your worth. And all of the pain that those people threw on you, you are now using that to alchemize it into power. You see, this is what they don't realize. This is why God allowed these people to do this to you. Because because what happens is the enemy got his minions, his pawns. And came to God and was like, I want that one. I want to test you. That one right there. And God's like, don't kill them. Don't kill my child. You could do what you want, but you won't kill my child. You won't take my child's life. That's why they never even came close to attempting to kill you. Like they never came towards you with no weapons. They never tried to lure you into no forest to try to jump you or deceive or like disintegrate your body. It was never a moment where anything like that could even remotely come close to happening because they were not allowed to. The enemy was not allowed to kill you. The enemy was allowed to do any and everything, but the enemy was not allowed to kill you. But the enemy was not allowed to kill you. The enemy may have touched you, may have put their hands on you, but they weren't allowed to kill you. That's why you can't kill yourself, baby. You can't give up. Because if you do so, you're going to do the enemy's job. No. The enemy needs to be fired. The enemy knows his time is up. The enemy knows it's no more of this. So the enemy was doing whatever it was, whatever he could do to try to make things bad for you, to try to put you through enough pain, to re-trigger you, to bring out some of your most traumatic experiences and to re-traumatize you. Did this on purpose so that you could be distracted, so that you could walk away from your purpose, so that you could not be aligned with your mission, so that you could be down in the dumps, so that you could be sad and depressed and dealing with PTSD, so that you won't move forward. It was trying to stop you. Because the enemy thinks if I put you through enough stuff to get you to take yourself out, my job is done. No. What the enemy does is the enemy first tries to attack your mind. You attack your mind with words, with phrases, with thoughts, and those become feelings. That's why those people did a lot to attack you with words, because they're trying to get inside your head. They're trying to say things about you that are untrue. They could have called you arrogant when you are a very humble person. They could have called you cocky or conceited when you're just confident. They could have told you that you think you're better than everybody else when you look at everyone else as your equal. You don't think that anyone is beneath you, when you sometimes put others above you. You see, they wanted to plant those thoughts into your mind so that you can start to think differently about yourself, so that their words can become your inner voice. That's why, baby, it's so important for you to spend time with yourself. Stop distracting yourself by trying to be around people all the time, bro. Sis, no. You always trying to be on the phone with somebody, always trying to hang with somebody, you're always trying to listen to whatever. No, listen, baby. You gotta spend some time by yourself, because when you spend time with yourself and you listen to only your thoughts, you'll be able to differentiate between what voice is yours and what is the voice of someone else. And if it's the voice of someone else, don't allow that voice to become your own. Eliminate that voice. Talk over that voice and replace that voice with your own voice, with God's voice. Because God speaks to you with love, with gentleness, with make you feel good about yourself, not trying to make you feel bad about yourself. It's very unfortunate what these people did to you. But when you see the version of yourself that you became after this, how much you have grown, how much you have matured, how much you have evolved, how much you have healed, how wise you have become, you wouldn't have had all of this strength had that not happened. So when the enemy tries to make you think of all of the trauma, of all that you went through, remind the enemy of how strong you are now. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Because if you could remind the devil of how amazing you are, how you are a child of the Most High God, the devil gonna stop attacking you with those thoughts. It ain't gonna change overnight. But every single time that you can, remind yourself to fight the devil in your mind. If you have to pray, if you have to shout, whatever you have to do, call on God. Because the enemy is afraid of God. So when you bring God into the energy, the devil will resist. You got to realize you are much more powerful than the devil, and the devil knows it. And that's why the devil tries to do so much to make you feel powerless, to make you feel like you can't take him. But baby, the devil's afraid of you. The devil's afraid of you, afraid of your power, afraid of your anointing, afraid of who's with you in the spirit realm. Remember how protected you are. Remember how divine you are. And the next time the enemy tries to plant those thoughts of doubt into your mind, tell the devil to get out of here. Tell the devil, those are not my thoughts. I will not believe those thoughts. Those are not my thoughts. Those are your thoughts. Get out of here. The renewal of your mind. Ashe.